So we'll get this started here. So my name is Josh Holdaway. I've been with LifeWave now for a little over 2 years now, and so I've got an incredible story myself. You'll hear a little bit more about that in a little while. So we're going to do this kind of a two-part thing. Diane Williams up here is going to actually bring us the technology side of it, which is pretty exciting about that. And then we've got two different ladies that are going to share their testimony. I'm going to come back on in a little bit, and I'm going to kind of talk about the business side. And please don't let that part scare you off at all, because believe me, 90% of us looked at this thing and said, I don't want to have anything to do with the business, including Chuck and Diane, who I was just on another call, and they recognized the snot out of these people. So you'll see a little bit more of that today. And they said no as well. Right. All the faces I'm looking at here, majority of them said no at first on the business. I was one of them. Right. So you're going to hear a little bit about that. And then I have a buddy of mine that brought me into this 2 years ago is going to join us and give a little bit here at the end. So without further ado, Miss Diane Williams, I'm going to give it to you. I'm going to share the screen, and it is yours to go.
All right. Well, thank you, Josh. I am thrilled to share with you tonight this amazing product. The first way that I got exposed to this was about 17 months ago. My husband brought home this sleeve. It looked like a Band-Aid type sticker, and he said, here, start wearing these. And I had no idea what it was, how to wear it. I asked him, what's it going to do? He goes, I'm not really sure. It's supposed to give you more energy, better sleep. So I started wearing the patch, and not knowing what to expect, I really didn't know. So about 3 weeks in, though, I was cleaning houses with my sister and a friend, and I normally only clean houses like 2 days a month. And this week I cleaned 3 days. It was Thanksgiving week. I cleaned, I think it was 5 houses total, and normally just 1 day a week, twice a month, I would come home and I would just crash. I had to take a nap. And that week, cleaning all those houses, I had this incredible energy and stamina, and I'm like, wow, all I can think of is that this is the patch. So then about 6 weeks in, I was talking to Chuck, and I told him, I said, I can tell that when I'm talking to people, I don't get caught up on my words, and I don't freeze in the middle of my conversation just to try to connect my thoughts together. So I also saw that that was helping my mental clarity, which is huge for me. Today, Chuck and I were talking about this, and I said, I feel like my testimony is not that big of a deal. But he's like, don't minimize it. And the more I thought about it, I'm like, you know what? You're right. I love having energy and stamina, especially on the tennis court. And that wasn't just me. My friends were telling me, well, not telling me, but they were like, whoa, how'd you do that? So that was pretty cool. I love that part of it. But the question of the hour is, have you been patched? So this little wearable technology is going to help you elevate, activate, and regenerate your own body stem cells. So we all have stem cells, and unfortunately for all of us, we're aging, and therefore our stem cells are going dormant. We don't want that. We want to stay just as healthy as we possibly can. So David Schmidt is our CEO, inventor, and founder of LifeWave. He has over 130 patents. In fact, a couple weeks ago, we found out that it's up to 200 patents. So he leads the charge first and foremost in front of this company as the CEO, but he's also an amazing scientist and inventor. Without him, we would not have this amazing wearable technology. David decided after spending about 4 years, he was developing some other patches from 2004 to 2008. He started to focus on age reversing because at any age, we're all aging. So he decided to really dive into the stem cell research. And that discovery took him about 10 years and over $4 million of his own money to pour into this patch, this X39. So this one product can do some amazing things for all of us. Our stories are all different because we all have stem cells that go dormant, but this product is doing so many incredible things for so many people. This is a patented technology, and it states that it elevates our own body's copper peptides. It activates our own body's stem cells. It puts no stem cells in us, but it activates what's already within us. It gives us improvement of energy and elevates our antioxidants. It also reduces inflammation, helps improve our stamina, just so many benefits. And the other part of the patent means exclusivity. There's no competition. We're not a Me Too product. So why X39 stem cell activation patch? Like I mentioned, we're all aging, and the fewer stem cells we have, the faster you age and the slower you heal. There are hundreds of millions of people that are experiencing some symptoms of aging that they can overcome once they activate their own body stem cells by wearing this patch. Who knew that age 30, only half of our stem cells are active? And at age 60, which I'm in my 60s, unfortunately, almost all of the stem cell activity is dormant. So it's time to wake up those stem cells and get the body doing what it can do best, and that's heal itself. How X39 works? It's a proprietary form of phototherapy. Locked inside this patch is patented nanocrystal technology. It reflects our own body's light in order to activate what's already in us. It's non-transdermal, which means nothing is going into the body. And this is really important, especially when you're working with athletes, children, all the way up to our parents and grandchildren, anyone who may be on pharmaceuticals, because there's no drugs, no chemicals, and no stimulants. There's nothing to inject or ingest. You just stick it on your body and it goes to work. The benefits are incredible. So speaking of benefits, 17 months ago, we didn't see all of these results right away, but we did see results. And over time, I've experienced most of these benefits. Increased strength. Oh my gosh, I love having increased strength. We work out, and it also shows on my tennis, playing in my tennis. Reduced inflammation. Where we typically have inflammation, we have discomfort in our body. And so it's huge to be able to just lessen the effects of inflammation on the body, because honestly, unfortunately, it's everywhere from head to toe in most of us. Increased stamina, I feel like that kind of goes on along with the energy and vitality, but it's, just your get up and go. We all want to feel better and perform better, and that's increasing your stamina, which is so great. And also not with stimulants, right? We don't want to put stimulants in our body to have what we need. And that goes for energy and vitality either. We want to be able to go through our day and enjoy our day, whether it's working or if we're retired or if we're in school. The energy and vitality help get you through the day. And I spoke of the mental clarity and mental focus. To me, that is a game changer. The restored muscle or skeletal conditions are noticeable. I have friends that this has helped with their joint discomfort in their hips, knees, shoulders, backs, elbows, feet, hands, you name it. Improvement of sleep. I think we can all raise our hands on wanting this benefit for sure. Because if we can improve someone's sleep, both on the ability to fall asleep, stay asleep, and wake up feeling more refreshed, then we're winning the day. Because when we sleep, that's when our body goes through a lot of its natural healing moments and just what our bodies are designed to do. So if we're sleeping better, then we're able to heal better. I've got a couple friends on the patch that they say they can remember their dreams, and their dreams are so vivid. And that's just another testimony that they are getting that deep sleep. The improvement in skin appearance, who doesn't want that, especially since we're all aging? So whatever decade it is you're aging into, whether it's your 30s or it's your 80s, we always want to look our best, and the appearance and skin improvement is so, so vital. So let's be honest, we need proof that it's really working. And here is a topography map. LifeWave does clinical studies, and this is a study with about 60 individuals. And this one is of a 77-year-old woman. And honestly, this could be any of us, but she came into the study because her brain was hyperactive. You can see in session 1 that there's a lot of red and orange, and that's showing inflammation on the brain. And so she's got lack of brain coherence. In session 2, after session 1, they started patching her. So at session 2, she came back in and got another brain scan. So she's been on the patch for 3 weeks now. You can see that the red and the orange is now gone, and she's got improved brain coherence, and she has no more inflammation. Then 3 more weeks on the patch. At 6 weeks, the brain is completely turned around. She's got the best brain coherence there. And so you can see that her brain has definitely calmed down. And who doesn't want that at any age? Whether you're young or old, we all want to have better brain coherence and better clarity of thoughts and just the calmness of our mind. So the X39 long-term results, this is a list of some case studies or clinical studies that LifeWave has done over the years. So again, here's more proof that this patch can do what this patch can do for people. In the first few days of wearing this, you may or may not experience something, but 4,000 of your genes begin to reset. That's a tremendous amount. And there's nothing medically or holistically on the market that can do this the way that the patch can. We already talked about within 6 weeks, like I showed you on the topography, that the brain is becoming balanced in that 6-week time frame. Within 3 months, here's the good news, your collagen is increasing. So we no longer have to ingest potions or take pills and powders for collagen. This is helping our own body's collagen turn on. And that's your best collagen, your body's collagen, not a collagen from another source. So just within 3 months and ongoing, that's where we see a greater skin appearance. Collagen is the most protein in the body. It's literally our scaffolding or the glue that holds us together. And so that's where we see some tremendous results. Here's another amazing study that LifeWave did within 6 months. They showed that the heart reverses in age. I love what David Schmidt says. It's not anti-aging, it's age reversing. So how do you wear the X39? One of the most simplest, most affordable things I've ever done for my health is wearing this little patch. It's literally a sticker you can wear for 12 hours a day. I typically put it on in the morning when I'm getting ready, and then I take it off, when I'm about to go to bed. And it's seriously just like wearing a sticker. Now, we recommend that you wear it during the day because, you're active and you want to stay hydrated. It's also going to promote energy, and that's kind of hard to do if you're trying to sleep. But you also want to stay hydrated. You can't do that also while you sleep. There are a few people that can do that, but for the most part, we recommend that you wear it during the day. And so staying hydrated helps you go from good results to great results. So you want to stay hydrated. And staying hydrated is as simple as putting lemon in your water or using hydrate drinks. Just be careful of the ones with the high sugar because you don't want to add complication. But you can also do Celtic salt. I'm going to say that the wrong way, but super simple things to do. We are going to have an amazing product that's going to be coming out soon that'll help with the hydration. But until then, stay hydrated. So the next few slides we have are going to show you the power of X39. This is of a man that you can see him before he started even using the patches. And then just as time progresses, 7 months using the patches, you can see a difference. 11 months using the patches. This looks like a totally different guy. You can see it in his eyes. You can he seriously looks like a totally different man. The next one is of a woman, and she actually charted her progress over a year. And you can see in each picture, it just looks like she's her skin's getting brighter. She just looks healthier. And then at the 1 year mark, she looks like a younger version of herself. And who wouldn't want that also? The next one is Marty. Marty is one of our favorite testimonials at our live Thursday night meetings. If you haven't met Marty, I invite you to come out on a Thursday night and meet him. Marty was coming every week, and all of a sudden he missed a couple weeks. And when he came back, we were asking him what happened. And he said that, well, along with the long list of testimonies that he has, one of those was that with the patches, he was able to get off his blood thinner, which thank God he did, because he was out walking at night and he fell and hit the concrete and busted his head open. And 2 weeks after that, he showed back up at our meeting, and this is what Marty looked like. Marty he's 85 now, but he was 84 years old. And people at that age, they just don't heal that quickly. So look at that. You can barely even see where he had that gash in his head. The next slide is of a man who fell through rafters during his job, and he broke some ribs and bruised them really bad. And they told him that he was going to be out for 6 weeks at least. And you can tell by the dates on the pictures that not only did the bruising go away quickly, but he was able to return back to work in 3 weeks. And that's huge for a lot of people who depend on their own ability to bring in their finances. We have doctors on, I'm sorry, I didn't see this one in our slides. This is our own Dr. Amy Wickett. You can meet her on Thursday nights also. But Dr. Amy took a picture of herself when she first got started with the patches. And then 1 year later, and you can just tell the structural bones in her face just has changed. She just looks so much younger, so much brighter, so much more alert. And we just love hearing Dr. Amy give her testimony. Okay, now this is Dr. Adam Shiner, and he is a laser eyelid and facial plastic surgeon, and he has started using the patches in his practice. He's noticed that by putting his patients on the patch before the surgery and keeping them on after the surgery, that they just heal quicker. And so then now he's giving his patients the option on whether or not they want to use the patches. He shows them the before and after pictures of some that have used the patches and others that have not. And almost all of them why wouldn't they, decide to use the patches. So I think now we have a couple testimonials, Josh.
Yes, ma'am. All right. We'll got a couple of these and then I'll let you finish that up here, Diane. So the first testimony we have is brought to you by Sandra. Some of you guys may have heard her testimony. It just keeps getting longer and longer every month that goes by, which is pretty awesome. So Sandra, bring it on.
All right. Thank you, Josh. Yeah, I had to actually make a list. I had so many things going on. I have my little notes here and I finally stopped at month 9. I ran out of paper at the bottom here, but I started on the patches for my knee. I've had knee problems since I was 12 years old. And the older I got, that did not get better. I continued to develop age-related knee issues, cartilage issues, bone on bone, arthritis, bone spurs and whatnot. So my knee was a real mess. But after about a week, I came down the stairs one morning and I said to Mike, I said, oh my gosh, my knee doesn't hurt. And my knees had hurt for 30 years off and on. So that was remarkable. I kept using it. And then around month 2, I noticed I was losing less hair. In the shower, there was like no hair in the drain. So my hair has gotten longer and thicker and grows faster. And my hairdresser even noticed, he said, you must be taking a lot of collagen. Your hair is growing a lot faster. And my nails too. Then around month 3, I started getting a ton of compliments on my skin. People were asking me, what are you doing different with your skin? Your skin looks great. It glows. And I'm still getting those compliments a year and a half later. And it always humbles me, but this product has done more for my skin than my skincare, the collagen, wrinkle creams, all of that. Around month 4, I noticed my hot flashes disappeared. So that was a nice little side effect. I started on this little patch for my knees and all kinds of wonderful things were happening. I broke a toe around month 5 and I ended up going to the doctor because we were going to leave for our honeymoon and be out of the country. And I didn't want a medical issue, or I wanted to find out if I should be wearing a boot or whatever. Well, when the doctor did the x-ray and looked at my toe, she could not believe how fast the bone had grown. She showed me like the white part on the x-ray. So that was remarkable. Around month 6, I noticed my anxiety was really non-existent. I wasn't taking medicine for it anymore, but I was still struggling with it. And it has not really occurred at all since I've been on the patch. Around month 7, I noticed my floaters were gone. They didn't really bother me, but I just thought it was interesting that they just disappeared. And now my night vision driving is better. There's no glare at night anymore. It really didn't bother me at night, but I noticed it. But now there's no glare at all whatsoever when I drive at night. Around month 8, I noticed I really had so much more energy that I didn't take naps anymore. I was wanting daily naps most the times, and I don't take naps anymore. And okay, I think that's it. I talked about my vision. So, but it's done a ton for me. I really just started it for my knee, and all these other things were happening. So I'm thrilled. I'm going to be a lifelong user. So it's great for me. Thank you, Josh.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Sandra. All right. And then the famous Dr. Amy Wicks.
Famous. That goes into our Thursday meeting with the famous Chuck Williams. Yeah, so I got involved with, well, no, I didn't get involved with LifeWave till January of last year. But in Thanksgiving of 2023, I went into what's called a thyroid storm. And that, for those of you who aren't aware, because I was not aware and I'm a doctor, it's very rare and it's life-threatening. Your organs start to shut down if they don't get your thyroid hormones under control because you're producing too much. And the biggest issue is the heart, and they don't want the heart shutting down. Thankfully, I have a very strong heart, we found out, which is what kept me alive. But in December 8th of 2023, I had to have a total thyroidectomy. And my story goes with LifeWave on the recovery end of it. I was not recovering well at all. I was tired all the time. I had mental fog, fatigue. I literally slept almost all day and night. I wanted to get back to work. I have a very busy practice. I a chiropractor by trade, so it's a physical job on top of it. But more than that, I have a niche practice, which is to treat very hard conditions that others can't treat. So we get a lot of referrals from other practices. So it was my brain I was most concerned about, that I needed to be able to think clearly. January 19th, a friend of mine stuck this little patch on me when I'm falling asleep at her salon. And I was like, what is it? And she goes, well, it'll help you feel better. I was like, well, all right, she's not going to give me a drug or anything. So sure, I'll try it. And I fell back asleep at her salon, and I had major neck pain. I was in her salon just holding my head up because they have to cut into your neck. So the back of my neck was just hurting. And I'm not used to pain. Sandra was talking about the joint pain and stuff. I'm blessed that I really don't have that, except after the surgery I did. But I noticed 4 days later when a patient came in and said, hey, or she was wearing a patch, and I said, I know what that is. And she said, you do? And I said, nope, never heard of it. but I'm wearing it and I'm feeling good. And I had mental clarity. I had mental clarity within an hour of wearing it. I'm what we call a one-hit wonder. And I went out that Friday night. It was a Friday night. I went out that night. My friends were like, "You're like your old self." And I go, "I feel like my old self." I go, "I don't know what it is." And my friend goes, "Well, you put the patch on." And I said, "I did, but I need a logical explanation." And she could not give it to me. So 4 days later, a patient walks in wearing this patch, and she sent me to a website. This is at info.com that I looked into for 2 days because I had a slower schedule then, but my brain was working. And I was intrigued. That's the number one thing I hear from other doctors that I talk to about it is very intriguing to all of us. And so I was like, I'm interested. What does this do? I had patients notice a physical difference in me and wanted to know what I was doing. And I said, well, I'm wearing this little sticker that's supposed to activate my own stem cells. And they're like, well, can I try it? I said, well, let me learn more about it. And it was my energy. My energy came back quickly. It was my mental clarity. Like Sandra said, my skin, I took the picture afterwards because I kept hearing people telling me how good I looked. And I was just looking good. Patients would come in and like, what are you doing? You're looking really good. I was like, I'm wearing a sticker and I am working out now because I have more energy. My muscle mass has increased. And so I took the before and after picture, and I was actually quite surprised at the difference. I wasn't expecting that. You know, you don't really notice the changes as you're going through life. And then you see the pictures and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, it is doing something. I've put a lot of patients on it, over 100 different people on it now, friends, family, patients. We've seen incredible results. A lot of healing. Oh yeah, my neck pain went away too within a day. I forgot about that part. But I put it on for joint pain. I put it on people to help boost their collagen levels. A dementia patient passed a cognitive test. A1Cs have been improving significantly. Cholesterols have been improving. I mean, the list just goes on and on. A kidney disease patient went from stage 3 to stage 2. So it's fun as a doctor just to see the different results someone's going to get. Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you, Dr. Amy.
Yep.
All right, Diane, back to you.
All right. Thank you so much, Sandra and Dr. Amy. I really appreciate that. And it reminds me of a few more things. I don't take naps anymore either. I think I used to take one every day. So yeah, that's another one I need to add to my list. So the X39 is so sophisticated, yet simple to explain. It's simple to share and it's simple to use. And as you can hear, the testimonies are life-changing and emotional. The best thing about X39, it absolutely works. And that's what I love about this product. And because of our results and just how amazing we felt, we shared this with everyone and we continue to share it with everyone. This is it, info.com. Everything I've shared with you over the last few minutes is all wrapped into this one-page landing page. And it's for you to share. So if someone asks you, why you're feeling so good, you're like, I don't really know, but I do know you can go to this website and get all the information you need to make an educated decision on getting started now on the X39. This is it, info.com has amazing videos from our CEO, founder, and inventor. It also has other doctors' videos on there that they're using this in their medical practices. This is a page that just shows you that you can click on any of these testimonials, and there's all the information that you can possibly ask for, and you can freely use it and share it with your friends and family. Take a look at it yourself. It's pretty incredible. So just recently, LifeWave was ranked #1 momentum company in the world from business for home. I believe they've actually been awarded that 4 years in a row, and this is an incredible achievement. So not only are we part of the fastest growing company in the world, we're also part of the fastest growing team within that company. So needless to say, you are at the right place at the right time. These are David Schmidt, our CEO and founder on the far left, and then to his right is Meredith Berkshire. She is the president. She has worked with billion-dollar businesses in our industry, so she knows what she's doing, and she's taken us to great heights. The other two are Steve and Gina Merritt. They are our incredible leaders, and they have set up this system for us to use, and it is so awesome to be a part of this team. So thank you so much for allowing me to share this incredible technology with you, and I'm going to turn it back over to you, Josh.
All right, there's some new people on here, and there's some people that have been around for a minute, like myself. And I just got a standing ovation for Diane. She crushed it. First time doing it. And she goes, you know what? I'll do this thing. And it proves to you, she told me, gosh, more than a year ago, you'll never get me in front of this camera, ever. but the passion that she has on what this has done, not only for her and Chuck, but it's done for so many thousand people in their group. She said, "Hey, I'm putting all that aside, and I'm gonna show this, so shows anybody can do this." But nice, really, really nice job, Diane. So this shows here, what's the most important thing in your life? Family, time, freedom, security, travel, better health, less debt. Guys, when I looked at this thing 2 years ago, it was better health. I had knee issues. Guys, before I even get into that, you know, we heard 2 testimonials, really 3 if you hear a little bit about what Diane said in there. But we could spend 2 hours or more just talking about testimonies. That's why this is so incredibly huge, right? You know, we've had people kind of talk about their testimonials of, you know, before X39, I had a flat stomach, except for the L was silent. And now they're able to work out a little bit more, and now they can, you know, not have that stomach situation. Or, you know, we met a couple when we were down in Mexico last week talking about somebody in their family that was in a coma for 12 years, a coma type thing where they couldn't speak and they could only communicate with their hand. 3 days after wearing this patch, they're speaking. 3 days. That is massive, guys. I got in this because I had a boo-boo on my knee. It was bigger than a boo-boo. But regardless, you know, I'm going to show you a little bit about the business side, and I'm going to tell you why here in just a second. So yeah, so better health for me. When Greg Warmbear reached out to me 2 years ago and said, "Would you be interested in this?" The reason I did is because it said better health, and this is why. I just turned 50 and I had some knee issues pretty bad. It didn't make me immobile, but I couldn't run, I couldn't play pickleball, couldn't play basketball. I had a hard time working out, and doctor wanted to do knee surgery, wasn't all about that. Looked at getting stem cell injections. That was $100 million to get that done. So I'm like, no thanks. And I was introduced to this technology, this patch. I was hopeful but skeptical. So if you're new looking at this for the first time and you're thinking this is weird, I definitely thought this was weird, but I was hopeful. I put this thing on 2 weeks later. All of my knee pain went away. That was 2 years ago. And if I didn't get that phone call, I would be probably cut into to get knee replacement and be complaining about that all day long. So this has changed my life. But here's the neat thing. The reason I'm going to talk to you about the business side of this is I shared at the beginning, I wasn't excited about doing a business. I don't know about you. I'm way too busy to even consider thinking about doing a side gig. That's for darn sure. But when I started sharing it with people, I realized there's a lot of people out there that need what we have, and they've got situations going on too. So how it worked out for me is I started sharing it with people, and they started liking it. And I said to my wife, I'm like, "Hey, what are your thoughts about me sharing this with enough people? We get our patches for free." And she's like, "Yeah, how many do you need?" I said, 7. And so that was the goal on July 1st of 2023, is to get 7 people in our organization, so I didn't have to pay the $100 each for both of us to get patches. That was it. That was my goal. And today, I just looked it up while Diane was talking. We have 3,347 people on our team, right? So that is blessing a ton of people. Guys, that's not just here in St. Louis. That is across the flipping globe. We're in so many different countries, and we are changing lives. It is absolutely amazing. So what I'm going to show you guys, I'm going to show you a couple different things on the actual technology or the business side of this technology. But before I do, you know, you heard Diane talk a little bit about there's a number of different patches, what David Schmidt created. Here's something cool. If you were like me and you're a little skeptical, I didn't see this page because it didn't exist yet. But what I knew is that the company's 20 years old, so that kind of gave it some credibility for me. I didn't know in 2021 as a $20 million company based on some of the other patches they came out with, and then the patch that they introduced me to was only 2 years old. And then in 4 years, guys, that X39 patch, this one extra patch that they brought onto this that activates stem cells, it took this company from $20 million to over $600 million in 4 years. You can be as skeptical as you want. Numbers don't lie. You cannot get numbers like that. You can't get growth like that in any company unless your product or your technology does what it says it does, right? And then it's changing lives, because that's exactly what it's doing. And that's why, you know, you've seen Diane show that slide there. It's the biggest, fastest growing company in the industry, massively. Nobody's even close to it. So I'm going to show you a couple things here. On the first one here is if you're looking at, hey, I'm looking at getting started. What does that look like for me? And then I'm going to show you very quickly, high level, how we get paid on this. Don't worry about it if it goes over your head. It sure did with me, but they still pay me pretty nicely today. So the first thing you want to look at here are the 3 different packages that you can get into. There's core, advanced, and premium. So when you look at the sleeves look like this, right? You got 30 patches in a sleeve. So that's, you wear it 12 hours a day, like Diane talked about, and then you throw it out, put on another one the next day. So you get 30, so you can wear one a day, right? You and your spouse. So what the core is, you get 3 sleeves there for $295 one time, and that gives you 3 months worth of patches. Why 3 months? Because you do not want to try this thing for 30 days and call it a day, because you may get your results like Dr. Amy did in 30 seconds, or you may get it in 3 days, 3 weeks, or 3 months. But every body is different. It's not waiting to start working for you. It's working. It might not be the noticeable things for you yet. So you want to give this 3 months. So core is for that person that says, hey, I definitely want to try this and see what this is going to do for me. By the way, 97% of people see results in 3 months. 97. So do this for that. That's what the core is for that person. Advanced is for somebody who says, you know what? I want to do this for me, and I actually like my spouse. So we're both going to do this for 3 months and get on that, and then you get on auto ship after that. The other reason advanced is there, and this is kind of unique, is if you are somebody that is looking at this for the first time and you heard what Diane's talking about this on the science, and your brain's not just thinking about yourself right now on what different this is that it can make for you, but you're also thinking about your brother, right? Or your mom or your friend at work or all these different people, not on a, hey, I need to build a business, but they need this as well. It's not just me. Then the advanced package is pretty awesome, because not only does it give you the 6 sleeves or 6 months worth, or 3 months for each, but it also puts you in a position that you can maximize the compensation plan on the advanced package at $535. Again, that's one time, and then you get on auto ship every month for 1 or 2 sleeves to keep you active in the business. That's it, guys. And then premium is $1,750. That's for the entrepreneur that says, hey, I seen this slide and I'm no dummy. If I could have gone into certain cryptos there at the beginning and knew that they were going to hit $80,000 right now, I don't know which one I'm talking about specifically, then you would say, yes, I am jumping all over this. Guys, $1,750, that's what I did. That I got on this thing, and I got 20 sleeves. I love the fact that I have 20 sleeves, because if I sign somebody up a core, I give them 3 sleeves, and then I have their auto ship go to me, or they give me their 3 sleeves back. So I love being in business. But $1,750 as an investment, I made every dime of that back in 30 days. That was what that cost me. And then the company, my cost was $1,750 one time, $200 a month. I've made a few $100,000 with this company in the last 20 months. So I'm just saying. That's the 3 different package options. Here's how we make money on this. Number 1 is product introductory bonus. So core, advanced, and premium. Very simply, somebody comes in at core, you make $35. They come at advanced, you make $75. They come in premium, you make $405. That's money out of the gate to get you started while the business is growing. So pretty simple there. The next part of the compensation plan is team commission. So if you've ever done any type of program like this, guys, this is the probably the most powerful yet simple plan there is, right? All you're doing is building 2 teams, a left team and a right team. You don't have to worry about who goes where and what's more important and all this stuff. You don't have to do any of that. You just put 2 people on your left side, 2 people on your right side. If you can do that, people that you care about and things like that you want to get involved with this thing, that's all this is to go manager. And I'll show you what that means here. But you just put 2 people on your left side, 2 people on your right side, help them do the same thing and continue to do that. Left side, right side, left side, right side. Why do we want to do that? So how this part works, this is ingenious. Every single time somebody comes into the organization and buys one of these packets, right? Or every single month that somebody's on auto ship and then their auto ship goes through and they get another sleeve, that generates points, right? So as your team generates points on this second part of the compensation plan, they pay you out every single week. And how the payout works is when one side hits 330 points, and then the other side hits 660 points, that generates $50. Doesn't sound like a lot, but let's say in a week it generates that one time, and then another week twice, or 5 times, or what if it did 10 times? 10 times 50, that's $500 in a week. What if it did it 100 times, right? So this thing can continue to go all the way up to $1,000 per week. And guys, there are tons and tons of people in our organization that are maximizing that out. So if that wasn't good enough, if the fact that they just gave us this part and this part, that is pretty outstanding. But here's the big one. This is what's called matching bonus. And how this works, guys, you've seen that we have 3,347 people on the team. Guess who didn't put 3,347 people on the team? Me. I sure didn't, right? I put about 107, I think the number is 107 people. That grew into over 3,300 people, right? And with that, with those 100 people, not everybody's doing the business. Some of them are just using the product. Some people are building a little bit. Some people are exploding this thing. But for anybody that's just sharing it a little bit, making $50, $100, $1,000, $2,000 a week, they're on my first level because I personally put them in. So I earn a 25% matching bonus on everybody that I personally sponsored every single week, dollar for dollar, whatever they make. So I earn 25% of whatever they make. The cool part is, and that's awesome, but there's a second and third level to this, guys. So a second level is whoever they put in, I earn 20%, they earn 25%, I earn 20% of them, and they put somebody else in. So that's a third level, 20%. Guys, when you understand this slide, and when this really starts to make sense and unfold on your back office, when you get into this and this thing really gets going, this thing keeps you up at night. And this is the slide that helps you put on your dream board why and when I'm going to retire and what my need is, what my reason is. This is massive, and it's blessing a ton of people. So the compensation plan, guys, I'm not going to go through a ton of this. I just want to show you a couple things on here. When you first come in, everybody is what's called just an enrollment. You can make on this part here up to $100 per week. Once you hit manager, and if you remember, that's 2 people on your left side, 2 people on your right side, then you can earn up to $1,500 per week. And then you can see the different positions: director, senior director, executive, presidential, all the way up to senior SPD, what you can earn on that, guys. This is not rocket science, rocket scientists, and it's not impossible to do, guys. We have hundreds of people that are managers. We have a ton of people that are directors, senior directors. We have a few that are executive directors, and so on. So this is absolutely doable for anybody. Diane shared the thisisit.info.com, right? That is the #1 website that we share this thing with. What I love about that is I don't have to say, yes, I want to do this. I want to start using, I want to start sharing it, but I have to learn everything there is to learn about this technology before I share it with a soul. That is so not the case, right? We run this program like ignorance on fire because we give this technology, we share our story with somebody, and we send them to thisisit.info.com. Right. And then when somebody wants to do the business, thisisitteam.com is all about the business and how to do that. Right. We talked about the big investment of the 20s. If that's something that meant something to you. Well, here's the cool part. If you bought a big franchise that cost you $500,000 or $1.5 million, you're going to get a big website and everything on how to be profitable on your Subway franchise, or you name it, whatever it is. This is what this is. But it's written by all the people that have been very successful, a few years before us on exactly how to do it. Guys, when I asked Greg, what do I do for this? How do we do this business? He kept pointing me back to this website. And that's what we try to do as well. So it's pretty incredible. So we've got these 2 websites. This is info for the product. This is team for the business. And again, to make this even more simple, every single Sunday, what you're on here today, whether you came on here for the first time or you've seen this a few times, every single Sunday at 7:30 Central Time, we do this same Zoom, different people doing it. So you can bring people to it. They're like, hey, I'm kind of interested in how this works. You can do the presentation or bring them here Sunday, and they can watch it there, and you can sign them up that way. Monday and Wednesday, you're going to have people on the bigger group. So we are part of a group called This Is It by Steve and Gina Merritt, and we are an umbrella underneath them. Their team does same type of Zoom on Monday and Wednesday. On Thursday, if you are in the St. Louis market, 6:30 in Lake St. Louis, we do an in-person one. So that's pretty fun to do. And then Saturday, if you're truly into building the business side, it's the best thing that you can do on that. Guys, we also have our own team group called WeBelieveTeam.com. So this is not to share this website out. This is for people to say, yes, I want to do the business side. I want to understand a little bit more of that. And it's a very quick website to understand how do I do this, very simplicity, and then you can take it there. So what we're going to show you a little bit about that tonight. But also they've got our Facebook groups on This Is It team, and then YouTube channels as well. So all those videos I was telling you about, you can see them all there. Hey, last thing I want to kind of share here, guys, is the fact that the last couple of things. Number one, it says, are you serious about your dream? This is hope for your future. Get started with X39. I've shared this before. When I first seen about opportunity making money and going on vacations and retirement and blah, 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 I thought blah, 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 right? I've heard these type of things before. You run into some weird people that actually make some of these things come true. I wasn't one of them. That's for darn sure. I've got a career. I've got, a big organization, big business that I run. This isn't me. I just got back from Mexico, and that was my 4th trip that LifeWave paid for, all inclusive, in the last 20 months. If you know who I am, that is possible for you to do this too. There were a ton of people on this call that went on a lot of these trips with us, guys. So the trips are one of the things. But if you're looking at a career that you're in, that you would like to work for yourself and do something, look at retiring differently, I'm telling you, this is so a vehicle for you to be able to do this. And I want to kind of share something on why. I haven't shared this before really, but I've been excited about things before. Nothing really in this industry exactly, but different things that I've been excited for. And I'm sure each of us have. Let's call it a different company that's got a protein powder that you're excited, or a weight loss thing you're excited about, and you're doing all this and you're pumped up about it, right? And then so you get excited and you get pumped up, and then you start screaming from the rooftops, right? And then you're telling people,
Josh, you muted
but then
Sorry.
Nobody's listening, and it kind of goes dead, right? Nothing really happened from that. So you're excited, but people are kind of, oh yeah, that doesn't sound really good for me. So then it fizzles away, and you're like, that doesn't work. Well, the reason it doesn't work is just because you guys were wondering where I went just a second ago, because I shut the power of my microphone off, right? So if there was no power behind the technology on this company, that this thing didn't work, it took a company from 20 million to 640 freaking million dollars in 4 years, it would go dead. But that's not what's happening, guys. There's power in this. Just like I added power back to my microphone, and boom, we're back on, right? That's what's going on. And this is not about us. This is not us presenting well that's causing this massive lift in our business. It's this technology that's kicking some tail. So if I'm you and you're looking at this for the first time, guys, this is, get back with the person that brought you. You've got Core, Advanced, Premium. It's not about which one you want to get in, how you want to do this business. You've got to get in this thing, because this is a freight train. If you do the math, right? If we went to 600 million, we're going to be a $1 billion company next year. When you hear about the other technology that's coming out in June, holy smokes, right? We're going to be a multiple $1 billion organization. You want to get into this thing. So get in however you can. And then, and if you're wanting to do the business side of this as well, gosh, it's truly not about the money. We've made an incredible amount of money. We've been extremely blessed with this. A lot of people here have been. It is so much more about the lives that we're changing. So thank you. And Diane, I want to thank you for just doing an awesome job on this. And the 2 testimonies we had, and we can go on forever about this. But thank you so much. I'm going to stop sharing this. I'm going to turn off the record button.
No shoulder pain. And it was absolutely, amazing. So the one thing that we always want to share with people is obviously the product itself. The X39 is a phenomenal product, but also the opportunity is phenomenal. So for me personally, I was working at a job that Lily, my company that I worked for, was basically, I did digital marketing basically as kind of a, what do they call it, basically an account manager. So really I bring on new clients, hand to the company. They did the digital marketing. I didn't do any of that. I just basically had the relationship with the clients. But it became was a mentorship management, became a tour mentorship management, and got to the point where I wanted out. I said, this is crazy. And because of the help of, basically my wife and our whole team that we worked with, within 14 months, replaced my 6-figure income. Lily, 2 months later, fired my job. I don't recommend doing that, but it was very toxic. And Lily, we've quadrupled, about to quintuple our money since then. So the business has grown exponentially. So we're looking at, we looked at the valuation of a business. As far as the revenue that flows through the business, not necessarily just the profit, but the revenue from a business. There's people on here that have a multi-million-dollar business within the past 12, 18, 24 months. And again, that's the part that gets exciting. And when you look at the ongoing residual income, it becomes very, very exciting because people are utilizing this product and they can't stop sharing it. So what happens, what we love is when people start sharing it, things start happening and people start hitting different ranks. And what happens, we want to share kind of what Josh shared a little bit as far as some of the different ranks that basically have been recognized. And so we're very excited to recognize some people tonight because, again, it really is celebrating people's achievements of what they're doing. And really what it is, I'll make sure you understand, it's pretty simple. All we do is we talk to people, and I'm always saying, I heard this from someone before, they said, who are 4 people that you love? Who are 4 people that you care about? Who are 4 people that you know that could not only utilize this for themselves and for their family, but also may want to make money from this? And so what happens, you get registered as a brand partner. Now you get the product at wholesale. So I say, would you rather pay retail or wholesale? I still have never had anybody say I want to pay retail. Everyone wants to get it wholesale. Then I say, would you like to be able to get the product for free and actually make some money from this? And then all it is you basically getting registered as a brand partner. Now you get the wholesale price. You put 2 people on the right, put a brand partner right, another one left, another one on the right and on the left. And now you become what's known as a manager. And as a manager, Josh showed you can make up to $1,500 per week. Now, it doesn't start there. It starts at 100 and 200 and 300 and 400 and 500. It starts growing and growing and growing. But as you start growing, all of a sudden you have other people say, well, I'm going to be a manager and I want to be a manager. So what's going to happen is that this person on the right says, I want to be a manager. And they put in 2 people and 2 people on left and right. And they become a manager. Another person on your left side become a manager. Now you're known as a director. You can make up to $2,500 a week. And it starts growing from there. So I'm very excited because, again, I hope Annette is still on here because I want her to recognize she's got a person on here that actually we have brand new managers. And so I wanted her to share that. But one thing like Josh showed, again, the goal is basically the more people you help, the more you get rewarded. And this is only one of 4 ways that we make money. But out of these 4 different ways, you can make up to $25,000 a week. And it's very exciting knowing that we got people that we're working with on our team that are making that kind of money. And we love that. It's absolutely fantastic. So one thing that happens is by becoming a manager, once again, it's pretty exciting. So Annette, I'd like you maybe to talk about this very first person here. If you want to come off mute and talk about who this person is and that you just helped go manager.
Hi. Yeah, that Dr. Randy, my husband ended up meeting him via another event, just a crypto thing actually that he was doing, but we ended up getting to talk to him, actually third party, somebody referred him over to us. And Randy had all kinds of things going on with them, and he'll share at some point too, because we're going to record his testimony, but he has leukemia. So he definitely wanted to try this because he was ready to try anything. He is an OBGYN family practitioner. So on day 12, he was called me, Josh, my husband, and everybody thanking us because he hadn't felt that good in 12 years. And so he was already talking to everybody else about it, but now he is really talking to everybody else about it, all of his staff and everything else. So it didn't take him too long to go manager. And I'm sure you're going to hear a lot more from him because he is really super excited to share this with everybody and anybody.
Absolutely. So congratulations, Dr. Radney. Congratulations, Annette and Robert. I know when Robert told me about it, he goes, I got one. My wife's been running the crazies getting all these people. He said, I finally got one myself. I'm like, that is fantastic. So the other ones that we have, actually, I'm going to, Diane, if you want to unmute yourself and recognize these next few people, that would be absolutely fantastic.
All right. Well, Dennis Carroll is fairly new in the business, but he hit the road running, and he's definitely got his sight set on building this as a business, and it's exciting to be able to help people do that. And then the other couple is Providence. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh my gosh, I forgot about Stephanie Parisi. Yes, she's been a longtime friend, kind of like through the internet, but she just engaged, and she has been sitting with us, staying steady for, gosh, probably almost the whole time that we've been building the business. So she just decided to plug in and start building this business, and she did it. She reached that manager position. So we're excited about Stephanie. Joe McShane, he's another one that he just made that commitment and got out there and started sharing it. And we're super proud of all of these people, Joe, Stephanie, Dennis. And Providence and Becky, they are not strangers to this industry. They know exactly all about this, and they know how to do it. And I'm excited to have Becky just kind of be like my wing person. I've never had a wing person. It's always been Chuck, but it's exciting to have people who are excited about building the business. So we are super thrilled to have all these people just building this business.
Yep. And then, wait, there's more. What happens when you start making managers? You get new directors. And so they have
That's
a new
right.
director also. So
That's
who's
right, Dr. Amanda Kruger. She, I think she's still kind of confused on how to build this business, but she's doing it, and we're definitely helping her along the way. But I think she's getting her antennas up as to even doing more in the business. So yeah, we're excited about Dr. Amanda, and she's excited about reaching this new position of director.
That's awesome. So congratulations to all the managers and directors. So some people say, well, I want to be the next manager. So we always say, you know, manager by Monday. So let's help people by the following Monday to get to that. We obviously will recognize you on the Sunday meeting there. But besides that, really what you want to do is get back together with the person who actually invited you, get together with the team that's working with you and say, I want to get to the next level. How do I do that? And they'll put together a game plan and show exactly how to do that. Tying into these launch meetings, talking to people. We do 3-way calls all the time. Josh is a phenomenal leader. Obviously, Chuck and Diane are phenomenal leaders, you know, and Ned Arsenault, you know, and Robert. You think I don't want to keep on naming people, but you know, Mike and Sherry. I'm going. By the way, who's this little kid next to Sherry Zink? I didn't even recognize me because he's got this baby face. So that's awesome. So, but it's amazing. Obviously, the team that we have here is very, very exciting to be partnered with all these people. So get together leaders and say, what do I do to get to the next level, or will you help me get to the next level? And if they say no, give me a call. We'll help you do it. So back to you, Josh. Very excited to be partner with you guys. Great success for the past few weeks.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you, Greg. Appreciate you always jumping on. Hey, I just wanted to give a teaser out there. We have a call scheduled tomorrow afternoon. I don't know why, but there may be something coming down the pipes for you. If you were here 3 weeks ago, you know what I'm talking about. So anyway, now we got some exciting stuff, guys. Hey, by the way, one thing that we did learn about the next vacation, it's going to be coming up in February instead of the fall. So some really exciting things that are going to be going on. They're going to make that work with the new compensation plan coming up, which is pretty exciting as well. But we've got a lot of fun things. Anybody on here that is not registered for Orlando, and if you don't know what I'm talking about yet, guys, I'm not going to go to the website tonight here, but go to our website, which is webelieveteam.com. Webelieveteam.com. Yeah, it's a mouse pad. I had fun on the shop place the other day. But webelieveteam.com, it's going to show you everything that you need to know. You're going to print out for your first 90 days, but also go down there for the website for the August training event that's going to happen out there. Guys, it is by far the thing that launched and capitalized on. I think there's nobody. Last Orlando, we had 40 people that went with us. There's nobody that went to that thing that's like, hey, no, I'm not going to do it. They're all still doing it. And right now we have more than 50 some people already registered for it, and we're going to have more than 100. Every one of them are going to share this with the world. So I would encourage you, if you have any inkling that you want to do this as a business and share this with others, make sure you get to that. All right, guys, thank you so much. Have a blessed night. Appreciate all of you so much, and we'll talk to you soon.